Now, hey, when it comes to politics, Mike Sean be spitting. So sit back, relax, and listen up. Let the intellectual juggernaut do his thing. Get out your number 2 pencil and take notes. His office hours are from 9 to 5. Oh, sorry, I got carried away. Don't boo, vote.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another episode of Speak On It. I am your host, the mouthpiece of the Southeast, the former Punchline King, the new era's PD Green, your boy, Mike Sean. Now, today, I got one of my homeboys. My homeboy, he is, this my dude. We always bounce stuff off each other, man. Hey, very knowledgeable about politics, man. He is an intellectual juggernaut. Tony, let him know what the deal is.
Hey, what's up?
That's what's
My
up.
phone decided to go off right then.
Hey, it is what it is. So so we are in the thick of the political season, right?
Right.
So I brought Tony on the show because he had some good ideas, some good thoughts, and he's gonna give it to us raw. So Tony, with the election coming up, are you considered left leaning? Will we consider you left leaning?
I think it'd be safe to say that I'm probably the most left-leaning person you know.
Okay, got it. So this first question I wanted to ask you for the audience: are you satisfied with the Biden-Harris ticket as a left-leaning person?
Okay, so short answer, yes.
Okay,
But it's because my take on the presidency.
got you.
My take on the presidency is they're not supposed to be the extremists anyway.
Got you.
The presidency is supposed to be the center of America to try to keep us in balance, if that makes any sense.
True.
Like, while I'm over here on the left, you got people on the moderate left, and you got people on the far right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone on the far right should be president. I don't think anyone on the far left should be president.
Gotcha.
I think you need someone to represent all of us, and that would be the center.
Mm-hmm.
And that's harder to define than Joe Biden.
Yes.
In my opinion, he's 2 steps away from being a Republican anyway. So, yeah. I mean, if you're a Republican, I don't know how you hate Joe Biden. He should be like your favorite Democrat.
and if you think about it, right, the last couple of presidents, they've been moderates. I mean, Obama wasn't a leftist.
Thank you.
Clinton wasn't a leftist. I mean, Clinton came from Arkansas. He was considered a good old boy in 1991. You have Bush 1 and Bush 2. They were moderate.
Yes.
Now the second Bush a little bit more right-leaning, but for the most part, they stayed in the center. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Exactly. So, like, people want to, in the Democratic primary, everyone was scared of Bernie. Like, oh no, you can't have Bernie because they're going to paint us as socialists. Well, surprise, Republicans are going to paint Democrats socialists anyway. They got Joe Biden as the nominee, and they're trying to say he's a radical socialist. It doesn't matter. So, in the end, you're right. Obama, they said he was a socialist. No, Obama is a moderate. If you take Barack Obama today and drop him in 1985, he's a Republican.
And the thing about Joe Biden is you do hear rumblings and people calling him a socialist, but then on another hand, they call him like a Dixiecrat because he ran with some of the older
right
Dixiecrats like Strom Thurmond and some of the other ones.
That's who he told you in that famous debate with Kamala. I work and reach across the aisle and this, that, and the third. Well, those people he was reaching across the aisle with at the time were Republicans, but they were former Dixiecrats.
Definitely. And I think what really got him in some hot water, not really hot water, but it showed him distancing himself from the old Dixiecrats was his stance on apartheid.
Right.
That stance for any sitting politician was very controversial. And how
Correct.
He talked about, African people having their rights and how apartheid was wrong, it was very telling.
Yeah, because at his core, Joe Biden is a good person.
Yes. Yes.
So he'll do things for political gain. That's playing politics. But in the end, he's a good person, and right is right and wrong is wrong. Another reason why I'm satisfied with the Biden Harris ticket.
So what I've been gaining from social media is that a lot of brothers, black men, they don't too much like Harris. We had a Trump supporter on last week, said that he probably would have voted for Biden, but he added Harris onto the ticket.
Okay.
What's your take on Harris?
But first and foremost, I have to address that. Like, if you're going to vote for Biden in 2016, but in 2020 he puts a black woman on the ticket, now all of a sudden he ain't got your vote. That makes no sense.
Oh man.
Now I do think he had a point saying her prosecutorial record and how she does have a record for essentially going along with the system and perpetrating the system.
Yes.
Right. I believe there was a case where, as Attorney General, they brought some evidence to her that would have let someone go free. Like, here's evidence showing that he is innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And she hid it.
Mm-hmm.
She did not let it see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to have issues like that, then have that issue.
Gotcha.
But if you want to have the issue of she was locking up people as a prosecutor, well, I just call that her being good at her damn job.
And not only that, we always hear stories of people saying that, hey, we need more black judges and more black lawyers, more black prosecutors. So then when you have them and they don't do your will, there's a problem. They can't just let Pookie and Ray Ray out every time they get into some trouble.
Pookie shot someone, so no, don't free him. I'm sorry. There are innocent black men in jail. There are.
Yes.
And Kamala Harris might have put some of them there.
Yes. Yes.
But if the evidence that the police gave her as a prosecutor was allowed her to do her job to lock them up, that's not a Kamala problem. That's a system problem.
And not only that, that she was dealing with California, but here in Alabama, there's probably some innocent black men in jail, sitting in jail right now. So you have these same people on social media who are getting at Kamala, but they're not worried about what's happening in their own backyard.
Exactly. They're worried about Kamala. I dare them to tell us who our Attorney General is. Who's our Secretary of State? They don't know.
They told me themselves they don't vote. They don't believe in the system.
Well, I tell you what, the system believes in you. And the system knows that if you don't vote, it'll lock you up. So, sure. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You're good. So back to Harris, right? I know a lot of people have, like you said, had an issue with her because she was the Attorney General. What I've been noticing on Facebook is that I understand being upset with her, due to her record, but it's like a lot of people, they bring in other things like, saying she doesn't understand the black experience. Me personally, I'm like, okay, who sets the barometer for blackness? I mean, we all have different experiences as black people. I've seen people say, well, her parents were immigrants, so she don't know what it's like to be black. My thing is this: Shirley Chisholm was the daughter of black immigrants. Not only that, all these people, they always quote Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was born where? Not only that, Marcus Garvey came from a pretty well-off family.
Yeah.
He was able to live in England, Panama, Costa Rica. So all of a sudden, we can't keep on as a people pushing the goalpost.
See, my issues are always going to be policy based. Mm-hmm. In fact, who was it? Cornel West said, try to get black faces in high places. Mm-hmm. I don't really care for that. Mm-hmm. What are your policies?
Exactly.
Because we can put Candace Owens in the Oval Office. It ain't going to help us. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's a black face in a high place. That's not what we want. We want people who have the policies that we need. Now, if you want to sit there and try to talk about people's experiences and this, that, and the third, what does that matter if their policies help you?
Exactly. I mean, and to me, I think personally, out of all the women that Biden had to choose from, I think he picked the best candidate because she had already been vetted, because she had went through the whole presidential process as a candidate. Not only that, she had a record to run on. And then, of course, stories came out that some of the vice presidential hopefuls, they actually had some baggage in their past.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, I told some people, what was it, early 2017, I said, Kamala Harris running for president.
Wow.
And the reaction was, who's Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
And I was like, she's the junior senator from California, and the Democratic Party wants her to run for president.
Wow.
And if you watch the media, you would see how they showcased her. Starting about mid 2017. And whenever she would talk to at hearings, like confirmation hearings, she had good questions because she's a prosecutor. But they would put her front and center. It was a push to get her out there. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying it is what it is.
Gotcha.
So whenever I heard that, I'm going to pick a woman, I was like, okay. And then you hear like Charlemagne say, we need a black woman. I was like, okay. Can we narrow it down a little bit more? We all know it's going to be Kamala.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is, like I tell everybody, politicians, they only speak one language, and that language is votes and money. So for him to choose a woman, I mean, I had no problems with it because they're the ones who supply the money and also the votes. They pretty much run the Democratic Party.
Yeah. But how do you think Nancy Pelosi still Speaker of the House?
Hey.
She raises the most money.
Hey.
Politics is all about power.
Exactly.
And how do you amass that power? By having the money. If I raise the money, I can convince you to do whatever it is I need you to do because I control the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Malcolm X once said that whoever controls the money controls the ideology.
Exactly.
And I think so many people, they get hung up on all these other issues. They don't understand that. It's all about the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money. Because without the money, you don't have the power to lobby what gets written in the textbooks. Now I decided what's in the textbooks. Now I've decided what a generation thinks is the truth.
You're right.
Now that they have the truth, a generation later, if anything comes up and contradicts that, well, now I have cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
I don't want to believe what you're telling me is the truth because my whole life, this has been the truth. And it all started because someone had the money.
Oh, well, if you look at Southern history for the past 150 years, how they've kind of rewritten it. You know,
exactly.
the Daughters of the Confederacy, they had a lot to do with the literature that our kids were reading in schools. And that's why they kind of painted the Confederacy as this glorious time. And it was a valiant effort to fight off Southern or Northern aggression.
Yeah. It was the war of northern aggression. Well, not quite.
Yes.
But that, because in a way I don't fault them.
Yeah.
Because that was their daddy and their granddaddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't want their daddy and granddaddy to go down as the devil in history.
Of course not.
So in a way, I can respect that. But at the same time, I'm sorry, your daddy and granddaddy were the devil, and they need to go down in history as that.
Moving on. Moving on. So like, you know, we're both on social media. We have a lot of friends on both sides. What are your thoughts when you see people on social media professing that their vote doesn't matter? How do you take that?
Foolish. Quite literally, if your vote didn't matter, then why would people fight so hard to take it from you?
Exactly.
If it doesn't matter, no one cares then.
Exactly.
No, they fought tooth and nail to make sure that there's only one polling place in, what's that, like Dallas?
Yes.
So
Yes.
why would that be if it didn't matter?
And we're seeing it across the nation how you have some areas they have like one voting place, to pretty much, I don't know what's the term to help out or to assist people with voting, like 500,000 population of
Well,
500,000. That might be a
they,
little
they,
extreme, but you kind of get the point. There is some discrepancies. The wealthier neighborhoods, they might have 2 or 3 different polling places, and the lines aren't that long because they have more polling people, polling workers. And not only that, I just find it to be idiotic. I see it. I see it so much on social media. People who really don't even vote, but they're trying to tell us not to vote. I'm like, if you don't vote, that's cool. That's on you. But don't try to proselytize me into not voting.
well, yeah. If you're gonna sit there and try to tell me that my vote doesn't matter, so don't waste your time in this, that, and the third. If you don't, all politics is local.
Yep.
All right. So if you looking at it like just the president, for instance, in the state of Alabama, maybe my one vote won't change that.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what I can do. I can go vote third party. And by voting third party, I can make that bigger. And now we have a bigger dichotomy in America instead of just having the binary option.
That's true.
Or we've proven that if enough people get up and go vote, we can get a Democrat voted in Alabama. Look at Doug Jones.
Yes. Yes.
But if enough of us had said, my vote doesn't matter, we wouldn't have gotten that.
And a lot of times when I see people say that, I just think Russian trolls. I mean, because there's actually been evidence of social media groups being formed, like barbecue, right? These Russian trolls, they'll create like a barbecue type of Facebook group to try to attract Black people, right? And so like the first month you'll see a whole bunch of barbecue tricks, tips, all that good stuff, right? Then after some time goes by, the rhetoric starts changing, and it starts talking about voting and how we shouldn't vote. And then like you had these Negroes, yeah, man, he's telling the truth, and I mean, there's always like a ventriloquist, it's
right.
somebody behind it. Me personally, I've been voting since the year 2000, since I was eligible to vote. And I see a lot of people nowadays saying, oh, we have crummy schools in Birmingham. We have crummy schools. I wouldn't say Huntsville, but we have some school districts in this area that are more wealthy or have more resources than other ones, right?
Right.
And so when you start going to some of these school districts, you'll start seeing that, hey, you can have anybody run this student council or this teachers council, PTA or whatnot, because you know why? They got enough votes, or people just weren't voting. I've heard instances where people would go to a PTA meeting and it'd be like 10 parents there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sad, So on the local level, I mean, if you don't want to have crappy schools, you have to do something about it. You have to actually go to the school board meetings. You have to participate in your children's education.
Exactly. People look at it like president. No. You should be worried about governor.
Exactly.
Who's your mayor?
Exactly.
Have you ridden your councilman?
Exactly.
I'm guilty. I haven't ridden my councilman, but I know Greg Shaw's name.
Yes. Yes.
So, and then, for instance, if you don't vote on this ballot, there are certain amendments to the Alabama Constitution.
And the thing is, if you guys haven't voted yet, I suggest you guys look at the ballot, because those amendments are written to confuse you.
Correct. To try and change every citizen to only a citizen. But it sounds the same. It doesn't matter, but it does matter.
Yes, it does. So definitely get out there, you guys, and get ahead of the game. Read those amendments.
Yes, read the amendments. Know about your councilman. Know about the mayor. Those are the things that affect your day-to-day life, and that's why voting matters.
Exactly. So let me ask you this question too. what do you think is going to be the outcome of this election? We're less than 10 days away.
Yeah.
What do you think
Yeah.
is going to happen? What is your opinion?
My opinion, I'll start with the House. The Democrats keep the House.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. I think the Republicans lose a few seats in the Senate, but they keep the Senate.
Yes.
And I think Joe Biden barely wins.
Mm.
I know the polls are saying, oh, look at Texas. It's in the margin of error. No, miss me with that. Texas is going red.
I don't trust Texas, Georgia, man. I don't trust none of that. Now, maybe
Exactly.
North Carolina, possibly, but Texas and Georgia, that's like New York flipping.
Exactly.
I mean,
No.
or California flipping.
No.
Now,
there are certain things you can count on.
Yes. So, yeah, Texas is not going. I don't even think it's purple, to be honest.
It's not purple.
Yeah.
Georgia, they're fighting for it to be purple.
Yeah.
And that's a good fight, but no. They got 2 Republican senators.
Yes.
And I can't remember the last time they voted for a Democrat.
Georgia.
I'll talk about Texas, but
okay.
Georgia too.
Okay. I think, did Clinton win Georgia? Possibly, but yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. So yeah, like I think people definitely need to get out there. You know, at the end of the day, like I said, people should vote for their own self-interest. You know, just because you're white doesn't mean you have to vote Republican. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat.
And that's the problem that people have. They just assume that all black people are saying they're going to vote Democrat. If Republicans really tried, they could get the black vote.
Mm-hmm.
Black people are conservative.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and you know, I've told this to many people. You can take the most extreme people, like say Louis Farrakhan, right?
Right.
You get past all of his, rhetoric. That brother is conservative.
Thank you.
I mean,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Just that on social issues, we tend to lean towards the left.
On social issues, we are progressive.
Yeah,
because it was the progressives who fought for us. The conservatives, you know about this root word, conserve. They just wanted to conserve things the way they were.
So
that progressives who wanted things to progress.
So that brings me to my next question. How do you respond to Republicans and Trump supporters that try to discredit Democrats by claiming that they are the party of the Confederacy and Jim Crow? Because I see it all the time. I mean, I know how I respond to it. Hey, I give them that work, but how would you?
So first you got to ask, are they familiar with the Southern strategy?
So I had this discussion with a friend. I won't name him now. He's ultra conservative. He's probably going to watch this, but when I mentioned the Southern strategy in a debate we had a couple years ago, he was like, "What is that?" Then all of a sudden he said, "Oh, I knew it by another name." I'm like, "Okay, but go ahead, man. I'm sorry."
So, because I had a person on Facebook post stuff like that, and I responded, "Yeah, but that was before the Southern strategy," and he liked my comment, and I was like, "You don't even know what I'm talking about, bro." So yeah, if you go back, the Democrats were the conservative party. The Republicans were built out of the ashes of the Whig Party and became the Progressive Party.
Yes.
They were the ones who they weren't even like, I hate slavery. They were like, slavery might be bad. Whereas the Democrats were like, no, pro-slavery.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So things go, the war happened. Republicans essentially won. The Union won.
Mm-hmm.
So the Southern Democrats lost.
Mm-hmm.
So then time goes on. Another fun fact, that's how Republicans became the party of big business. Because after the war, the businessmen from the North got rich.
Carpetbaggers.
Exactly. So now they're rich and they want to keep it that way. So the Republican Party is backing them. Anyway, they're still progressive.
Mm-hmm.
So then the big business is running things along, and then the stock market crash. Well, when the stock market crashed, you don't really want to hear about from a bunch of rich people. And then we elect someone, and who they basically called a class traitor, FDR, to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And did he do corporate welfare? Did he do socialism for the rich? No, he gave us the New Deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you start beginning to see the difference and the change in the Democratic Party. And then, you fast forward to LBJ and the Great Society and, the Civil Rights Act, and we'll lose the South for a generation, right?
Yes, yes.
And then, since that's happening, since the Democrats were the ones saying, hey, we're going to give Black people their rights, Republicans were like, hey guys in the South, white guys in the South, we're on your side. We'll stay with segregation. Vote for us. And it was a complete switch.
Yes.
So, and if you want to say that the Democrats are the party of Confederacy, Jim Crow, whatnot, then how come it's the Republicans who don't want the statues to come down?
Yes. I just find it hilarious that they'll bring up, well, it was the Democrats that started the Klan and Confederacy. And me, I'm like, okay, cool. I understand that. Let's tear down the statues, tear down the flag, take it down. Then they'll be like, well, that's cancel culture. I'm like, dude, I mean, the hypocrisy is real. I just don't.
You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't.
You can't have it where it was the Democrats who did it. So I'm on the party who was on your side, and then not be on our side.
And what's crazy is, like, and I've had this discussion with a lot of people on social media. And these are people who defend the Confederate statues of staying, visible, even in the courthouse, things like that. And I asked them, I'm like, well, do we see any statues of Yamamoto on Pearl Harbor or at Pearl Harbor? No,
they don't know who that is.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know what that is or who that was. Same thing. I lived in Germany for 6 years. I didn't see any Nazi flags. Now, there were some neo-Nazis who ran around, but they always got their butts kicked by the punk heads, or what do you call it? The punk rockers. It was funny because like the rockers or the grudge people, they were always fighting the neo-Nazis. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, that's the thing. It's the best comparison is how does Germany deal with Nazis? The reason you don't see the Nazi flag is because you can't. It's illegal.
Yes.
They said no. And the way they moved on as a nation is they taught their people what happened.
Yes.
Germans know about their ugly history. And they accept it as fact. And they moved on. Whereas we sugarcoat and whitewash our history, and then have the nerve to wonder, why are all these problems arising? We never accepted our history.
No, we didn't. You had situations like during Reconstruction, after the Civil War, a lot of these military installations that are in the South, they're named after Confederate generals.
Exactly.
And that was America's way of trying to bring the Southerners back into the fray. It kind of reminds me of Constantine, right?
Okay.
So and I hate to, let everybody know that I'm a nerd, history nerd, but Constantine, he was the first Christian emperor of the Roman Empire. He brought in pagan rituals, to try to like sell it to the Romans that, hey, Christianity is where it's at now. Hence, that's why we have a lot of our holidays, because of Constantine.
Yeah. Constantine was a lifelong pagan, but he understood that Christianity was on the rise.
Exactly.
And to keep his empire together, he called together, I forgot the name of the council.
Council of Nicaea.
Thank you.
Yes.
And they all came together. And they...
Got him! Got him!
But you already know, they voted on things and decided things. And again, there's certain reasons why things happen when they happen.
And that council kind of it just shaped Christianity, you know. I think people who are really into religion or just who want to grasp that knowledge, they definitely need to research and study Constantine and the councils of Nicaea.
Yeah.
Some good stuff in there if you actually want to understand the religion. And that's one thing, and I hate to go on this tangent, a lot of our pastors, they don't understand history.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and we can. That's a whole different podcast, and of course, we gonna visit on that. So, my final question. Now, I got 2 more questions for you, brother.
All right.
Who do you have winning in a hypothetical matchup? Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali? Cassius Clay. Who you got?
All right. We all know Ali's the greatest.
Yes. R. Kelly told us that. R. Kelly told us that.
You know, he's just wonderful to watch.
Yes.
But I tell you what, Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Damn. That's real.
So, I mean, he just needs to hit you that one time, and you can go to sleep. So I'm taking Tyson.
Cool. My final question. Who you got? T.I. or Young Jeezy?
All right. Everybody who's been around me for like the past decade will tell you every time I listen to T.I., I say, man, I forget how much I like T.I.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yes.
I'm a Jeezy fan. T.I.'s got this.
Man, that Urban Legend album, oh man, that was an incredible album.
Everything that, not everything, but you know, when T.I. gets on the mic, he can go with his cadence, he can speed it up, he can rap about any subject.
Yes.
And now, don't get me wrong, Jeezy, I like him, but
I
he's
went
still
from old
talking
school
white.
Chev is the drop top Porsche. Couldn't run a mile off in my Air Forces.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one, and you're right, man. Like just the flow, the lyricism, T.I. I mean, he's one of the best. I got T.I. in my top 15 of all time.
I have never gone all the way to the top 15, but I'm willing to bet I do too.
Yeah, top 15. He got to be top 5 or 6 in the South.
Oh, in the South, he's definitely top 5 in the South.
Yeah. I mean, but I know for me, I like Jeezy, but like I've always had all their albums. I think Jeezy's beat selection. I mean, Shawty Red, Zaytoven. I mean, I like Jeezy's beats a little more. They hit a little more. But T.I. he has a new album out too, doesn't
he? He does.
Yeah, I haven't down.
But Jeezy is for entertainment value. All right, cool, Jeezy. But if I want exactly right with the ad libs, my boy.
Yeah.
But if I actually want to listen to, you know what? No, I'm gonna say it. T.I.'s a lyricist. Okay, and when I listen to rap, that's what I'm listening to. I'm listening to a lyricist, and T.I. can just mess your game up.
Man, you know, one of my favorite songs of all time is "The Greatest" off that Urban Legend, Manny Fresh.
Okay.
I mean, just the way he was putting them bars together was just nasty, man. He's just T.I.'s an incredible artist, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, hands down, I'm taking T.I.
Cool.
No disrespect, Jeezy.
Chill. Hey.
Yeah.
So that concludes the interview. Thank you for your time, brother.
I appreciate you having me.
No problem, man. All my subscribers out there and my future subscribers, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. The Rocket City Network, we going up. Chill. Hey!
Do it free for me and charge you $100 or $2. Top floor in the presidential with a wonderful view. Yeah, I'm rich, but I ain't just talking. I live like this. You could get water out the faucet as clear as Mount Bridge.